Hey, what's up, good people? David Taub here from NextLevelGuitar.com. How you doing? Hope all's well, and hope your guitar journeys are going famously. Today, I'm going to show you a new arpeggio that I think you'll like. This is a major 7th arpeggio, and I want you to try adding it into your playing a little bit to add a little bit of spice. Now, check out some of my previous YouTube videos, and you will see lessons on major arpeggios. Now we're going to take that same shape and add one note, the major 7th, making it a major 7th arpeggio. Remember, the major triad or a major arpeggio is a root, 3rd, and a 5th. And what we're going to do is we're going to make that a major 7th by adding the major 7th note. So it now becomes root, 3rd, 5th, 7th. Okay, it's a 4-note arpeggio. This arpeggio you can find easily by letting your pinky on the A string play the root note. So if you want to play this in G, we're going to put our pinky on the 10th fret. And that is a G note, 10th fret on the A string. All right? So you have our pinky on the 10th fret of the A string. The arpeggio kind of sounds like this. Isn't that beautiful? Now the major arpeggio is root, 3rd, 5th, root, 3rd, 5th. This is major 7th, root, 3rd, 5th, 7th, root, 3rd, 5th, 7th. So you get a little difference. Here's the major again. Nice arpeggio, but listen to major 7th. See, that's that major 7th note. And in the jam track, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be landing a lot on that major 7th note. And that really emphasizes that note and gives you that real sweet kind of jazzy sound. Here's a G major 7th. So I'm playing that 7th, that major 7th, F sharp, over that G. See, it gives it that really nice, sweet sound. Another thing you're going to hear me do a lot in the jam track is I'm going to go, remember, your major 7th, in this instance F sharp, the next note right after that, that half step, that's your root note, that's G. So you got those cool notes. So I'm going to be playing that a lot over that G major arpeggio. Over that G major 7th chord. So you get that real nice sound, right? That's a really key interval to key in on when you're playing this arpeggio. So here's the arpeggio up close. Your pinky is going to catch the root note, in this instance D, which is at the 5th fret on the A string. Then play the 4th fret on the D string. And with your first finger, bar the G and the B strings, because you're going to kind of do this finger roll that I kind of mentioned. So you're going to catch that 2nd fret on the A note on the G string, and then there's our major 7th note, that C sharp, so it's 2nd fret on the B string also. Just kind of roll that finger, kind of just gently. And then 3rd fret on the B string, so you get. Then first finger F sharp note, 2nd fret high E, and then your pinky can catch that 5th fret, that A note again, on the high E string 5th fret, so you get this. There's our root note. Move it wherever you want. Just practice that up and back. Lightening up on that pressure to kill that note. Now, if I want to play this, this is again movable. So if I wanted to play, let's say this is a D major 7th arpeggio. If I wanted to play an E major 7th arpeggio, just move the pinky up a whole step. That's our root, easy. That becomes an E major 7th arpeggio. So why don't we have a track that goes like this? Maybe we'll play a D major 7th chord, D major 7th, and major 7th arpeggios are perfect to play over major 7th chords, and sometimes even over straight major chords they sound really nice, depending on the application. Let your ear guide you. So we're going to play a D major 7th, and then to a G major 7th. That'll be our jam track. It'll kind of sound like this. It's a 2-chord vamp, and when we do the jam, I'm going to do the D major 7th arpeggio over the D major 7th chord. Now in the example, I'm going to play the arpeggio up and back a few times, and keep in mind that good arpeggio playing mixes arpeggios in with scale notes and scale fragments and licks. You're not necessarily going to play the arpeggio all the time from the first note through every interval and then back up again. You know, much like I wouldn't play a scale from the first note like this, like a D major scale. You know, all the way up and all the way back when I'm playing a solo, because that's going to sound kind of stiff and very scalar. The idea with the arpeggios is you're going to kind of mix the arpeggio with the scale and mix it with your licks and stop accent notes. Grab them in higher octaves. See, I go from the D to the G. And that's what good arpeggio playing kind of does. It kind of mixes those elements together and you get the flavor, because the arpeggio, whereas a scale is you're taking those intervals one after another, your arpeggio spaces those out a little bit more. Get the arpeggio down first and, you know, really, you got to mute each string before you go to the next. You don't want the notes to bleed into one another. So I'm kind of killing each note as you go along, and that first finger between that G and the B string, you kind of roll it off, like if you saw some of my other lessons on that, you know, sweep pick. Like if you saw some of my other lessons, I talk about that first finger, that rolling of the first finger when you're playing arpeggios. Just kind of roll pressure on, roll pressure off. It really helps to keep that barred. So practice that up and back. And in fact, at first, when you put on the jam or lay down that, you know, D major 7th to G major 7th, just play the D major 7th arpeggio up and back over the D major 7th chord, just to get used to it. Like just hit the jam, right? Then G major 7th. Practice it and get your ear training on those intervals. And, you know, just don't learn this arpeggio to play it over a D major 7th, or, you know, learn it in all keys and move it around playing in all keys, because you got that pinky root, which is really easy to find on that A string. Just put your pinky on it and blast it down, you know, and then you'll start mixing in with your scales and whatnot. Give it a shot. You'll like it. These new arpeggios in your playing, in your chord progressions, practice them over the jam tracks that we have on the website, and you're really going to enjoy it. It's really going to add that little extra spice, little extra flavor. I hope you enjoyed this. Be sure to go to our website at nextlevelguitar.com, where we have all kinds of lessons for beginners, intermediate, advanced players, over 600 video lessons, written lessons, jam tracks. It's so comprehensive. Beginners, intermediate, advanced, lessons on theory and all different styles of music. It's guitars and gear, amps and settings, effects. It's really cool. You'll really like it. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube videos by clicking on that subscribe button. And keep putting that guitar in your hands every day, and we'll see you soon.